coalition bargaining for healthcare benefits. I'll let you know that we will be we will have breakout rooms. So when we need to caucus, there, Caitlin will be able to reassign you to rooms so that you can all speak together. So I'm going to start by going through some of the slides that we have prepared for you today. Just a lot of them are things you've seen already, but just going to work through this. It won't take long. So overall, so for 10 years, we've enjoyed no increase in our healthcare premiums for employees because the health plan operated either break even or a surplus. During this time, though, the district share has increased. After COVID, the increased cost of claims was offset by the use of ESSER funds and from our general fund. And really, we were hoping that we would see the claims decrease, after returning to normal or the new normal. We discussed the need last year to increase premiums, but we did agree to hold off on that and not pass anything along to the employee. Even though our actuary even then was recommending that we do increase because of the claims that we were experiencing. Our claims now, here we are after our last month that we have on record is August. Our claims are our highest yet, and that's our highest month over at least the last 5 years at 22.5 million. So through bargaining so far, we've provided 2 options, and I'll get to those in a minute, but we've also offered to mitigate the impact by agreeing to adjust the Healthy Rewards discount, making it even easier for people to qualify for that discount. So that is still something we've put out there. So here, as you can see, the district has increased its monthly premiums from 2012 to 2023. You could see that there have been no increases for the low. The only increase was that in 2013 for the high. The district funds 81.6 of health premiums. So that's something new that we haven't really put out there just so far, just because I think it's important. Even after the increase, we'd still be funding 77% of the health premiums. And in speaking with many other districts and reviewing their premiums, I got some information from other districts. It's very clear to me that we're funding at a higher rate than many of our competitors. This is something we've mentioned before. So for August, $22.5 million. But we've been sharing these over time. In year to date, so we were projecting our health claims to be around 2%, where we're actually at 7.8%. So all along, as we go through this process, when we started back in April, things have just gotten worse. They haven't improved. They were, we agreed to wait last year and see how it goes. We feel we've kicked it as long as we can. So based on our trends right now, we're really at about almost 8% increase. So our recommendations, just so you know, our open enrollment is November 1st through November 15th, and those rates need to be set in our system by October 12th in order to kick that off. Nothing new. The actuary is recommending a $50 million increase. So in premiums over 2 years, the actual claim spend through August aligns with that recommendation too. So, but despite the actuary's recommendation, we're still recommending a $30 million increase. There are 2 options here, just as a reminder of option 1, option 2. You can see right here, 1, 2. One is just an across the board increase of 32 per paycheck or 64 per month. The other one adjusts the rates based on the actual cost of the plan. So in that situation, some might pay a little less than 32 per paycheck. Some might pay a little more, but it is more reflective of the cost of the plan. Options to consider. So our bargaining agreement, and this is common among many districts, include what the district's contribution is. What we're negotiating is how much the district will increase its contribution, as well as any other plan changes that, if possible, and including the one we talked about with the healthy rewards. So one, without a signed agreement, we can't increase our contribution. So really, that would pass it along to the employee. Option two is what the district has recommended from the start, and that's to reach an agreement on the existing proposal or something alternative. But all we've heard is no, not zero all along, and that's just not an option for us. We wish it were. We would love to not have an increase in our premiums, but that's just not something that we are able to do. We have met with our board. They are aware of this proposal. So we met with them on Wednesday after our last session. We scheduled that. So these are still the options, unless there's something else that the coalition is intending to bring forward. So that's all the slides I've got, and I'll open it up for discussion. Yes, Justin.
Thank you, Tim. I know that there's representation from district legal on the call. We spoke to our legal advisors, and we're just asking for a clarification on one of the points that was made there about the increases defaulting to employees. That would only be if we agreed to maintain current language, correct? The district legal isn't asserting that there's no impasse procedures applicable to this bargaining, are they?
No, you're not.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. So if could we
Brenner, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, well, Justin, did you have a question on that?
No, I just wanted clarification, because I know if we agreed that it's correct that if no agreement were reached and we were to say keep present language, that the language would default the increases, but that assumes that we're not proposing an alternative, or that either side would not declare impasse and require the board to weigh in and ultimately decide. So that I just wanted that clarification. I was just going to say after that the coalition could caucus if possible, unless anyone else has anything to say at this time.
Okay.
I do have a question. Just I wanted to get it on record. So Tim, you had referenced in having conversations with other school board personnel regarding the comparable rate at which Palm Beach County Schools contributes regarding health insurance premiums, which is currently about over 81%. Can you give us a detail of which comparable employers? Are we looking at local market area or districts of comparable size?
So some that we have here we've displayed before. So if you could see here, we have Broward, Martin, Hillsborough, St. Lucie. Through the Florida Educational Negotiators group, they did a survey to collect some more information from other districts as well. And so while some have $0 plans, when you get into many of the others, their employee family or things like that are significantly higher than ours. So here's some, but really we're using it for just, when we're going through this, we're trying to make sure this makes sense and make sure it's reasonable. We're not trying to push an increase that isn't necessary. As I said, and as Ms. Frederick said, we've exhausted our resources to have zero increase to the premiums. So,
Thanks.
Sure. Caitlin, if you want to set up the breakout room. Okay, thank you.
So thank you to the district for the time. We discussed a number of things. We have, I guess, a couple questions first. And then we do have a counter that includes some movement on our part. Two questions real quick. One is pretty straightforward. The other one might require legal to weigh in to clarify the position that we kind of briefly discussed earlier regarding what happens if no agreement were reached or status quo were maintained. So the first question is, these increases, even though we're a coalition of specific bargaining units, these increases apply to every employee in the district who is an eligible employee, correct? Whether they're part of a bargaining unit or not. Just for clarification's sake.
Say that again.
Like these increases, if we negotiate them, also apply to employees outside of bargaining units?
Yes, they're the same increases for all employees.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. We just wanted a clarification. The second question is relative to, and thank you for clarifying earlier per our question regarding the options of either, keep present language, come to some agreement, or impasse as the three options that are on the table. Regarding if present language were kept, is district legal able to weigh in? It seems like the assertion is that if the cost of the plan for the district is running any sort of red, that where would it default to premiums must go up and premiums must fall to the employees? I know that the basis of that is that the premiums are defined for the employer, but does legal have a position that the increases or the increased cost that puts the plan in the red automatically would become premium increases versus a subject of further negotiation for other options like plan design changes, etc.? We're just curious if there's any legal basis to the idea that if we don't agree, that our premiums are automatically the place that those additional revenues come from versus other options within the healthcare plan. I don't know if legal's able to or willing to weigh in on that.
So we talked about this during the caucus. I'm not sure I fully, there's a lot in there that we just that you just said. I'm trying to make sure I understand. So if we don't, our position is basically, if we don't reach an agreement today, we're maintaining status quo, right?
So that
status quo for us means we're maintaining the district contribution that's in the agreement. The actual cost of the plan of for the total premium set by the actuary or by the district, I guess, whoever, because the actuary is recommending even more, would be the premiums for employees would still increase, is our position.
okay.
I don't think I agree with that, but I'll research it because
Yeah, we were just looking for possible further clarification, and we'll certainly ask our legal, because we're not sure that the assertion that our premiums are automatically the direct place that those increases have to come from versus plan design changes or having to be put to impasse because we're not agreeing to premium increases have to exist under that scenario. But we're just for clarification's sake, we won't linger on that. So thank you for a little bit of that response. What I'll do right now, if I'm able to, is to share my screen. We do have a counter proposal. We have some of your docs up, and then there are some of our modified docs. So as long as I have the ability to share my screen, I will do that now and share a Word document. If you give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. Please, someone indicate to me I can't see any people while I'm sharing. Is it visible on the deck?
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay. So basically, we just wanted to raise a concern with the district proposals. While presented in raw dollar values, we costed out the percent changes in the employee contributions on the right-hand side, and we just wanted to make clear that, of our objections, this is certainly an aspect of it that the current proposals from the district call for, in many cases, increases of 40, 50, 70, 128%, most specifically falling to the employee-only, no dependent employees, which account for roughly 50% or more of the bargaining unit, they would see under option one an increase to their rates of anywhere from 71 to 128%. So we know while presented in raw dollars as $32 or $64 a month, that it doesn't sound as significant. But we are cognizant of the fact that in some cases people would be paying 50, 75, 100 to 125% more. So we just wanted to show those mathematical computations. This is option one per the district with the percent change increases per plan. This is the same for option two, which again still shows that for the most utilized plans, the employee only high and low, you do have increases ranging from 56 to 100% to their out-of-pocket premiums. So we just wanted to make sure we raised that and presented it as a concern for the level of increases. As it relates to our counter offer, we have kind of snippets from the CTA collective bargaining agreement. I assume the language is similar, if not the same, in the other respective units. So the first thing you'll see here in green is that following with what the district's proposal included, the district agrees, I'll change that, agrees to fund both employer and employee premium increases for the first 6 months of plan year 24. As we scroll down, and I'll zoom out a little bit, you can see the 3 tiers of employer contributions. Our increase to employees, and I'll show you that below, is our proposal, our counter is $10 per plan per month for a total of $120 in increases to premium. So what we did is we took the district proposal, the total dollar value increases you proposed for both the employer and employee, and we backed out $10 from those totals and placed them on the employee, and the employer would shoulder the remainder of that. And that's what these strike throughs indicate, a change from the existing contract language for the employer contribution to our counter proposed new employer contributions. And then also we have for your consideration in our proposal, the defining of the employee contributions, including the $10 increase per month that is the focal point of our proposal, because the coalition, we feel like that it certainly is a leverage point that if one side has it, this idea that no agreement leads to the other side having to eat everything potentially, it leads us down a road of perpetually confronting that if we don't want to agree and being on the cusp of impasse every year, because that would be for the employees a better alternative going to impasse than possibly eating 100% of any increase that the district believed was necessary. So by defining both the employer and employee contributions, that covers 100% of any plan year's premiums, so that it forces us, to work a little bit more collaboratively versus the showdown between impasse or 100% pushed onto employees, which I don't think the district obviously wants impasse, and obviously we don't want 100% of any premium increase falling to the employees. So we feel like this inclusion of defined employee contributions kind of negates that arms race there. It levels the playing field in our opinion. So you can see here again, our reflected premium increases. We took the existing premium levels for employees and we added $10 per month for a total of $120 extra per year per employee. And then skipping further down, we also are in favor of one of the items that the district had indicated support and willingness to go along with, which was the modification of the 4 out of 5 to 3 out of 5 target elements. So that is our counter proposal at this time. We obviously will provide you with that in document form via email if you need it now or certainly after the meeting. But that indicates our total counter offer at this time to the district's offer that has been on the table. And we certainly would field any questions.
I'm going to ask, is the whole team, I'm going to ask my team to join the district breakout room 1, and then we'll get right back to you. Okay.
Do you want me to send you over that document right now, Tim?
No, I don't think so. I think I got what I need.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. So we discussed your proposal. First thing I want to say is that I think we've, I heard, your thing about being collaborative. I think we've approached this collaboratively the whole time. The only reasons I think we're still here is because, well, 2 reasons. One, we don't want our employees to shoulder the entire cost of this increase, despite knowing that we're short in how much we're asking for. But also because the employee contributions aren't listed in our contract. So we would not agree to putting the employee contributions in the language. We're not going to agree to that. We do obviously agree to the healthy rewards change, and we have a counter for the increase that I think is, really we know we need to be more than this, but we are looking to try to get a deal done. We would do $25 per paycheck, which is $50 per month. And for 6 months, we would do a $12.50 bonus per paycheck to help offset the increase, just minimize the impact of this.
Okay, I think that we're going to caucus on that, but I just want to know that I completely disagree with that being the status quo. And just briefly researching it, like, just because the contributions aren't in the contract doesn't mean you can put all of the cost increases on the employees. That's completely wrong. If they've been the same for 10 years, then that's like a past practice even. So it kind of makes me upset because it seems like to be a little bit punitive. But that's just
not increasing the premiums for 10 years is punitive. I disagree, Katie.
It seems to be like a threat. So
it's not a threat. It's a necessity. We're at the point where it's an operational necessity that we increase our premiums. That's all it is. It's not a threat. Holding steady on your employee premiums for 10 years is incredible. I don't really think that's the common practice among organizations. So.
Which would be more than enough to establish a past practice, even though it's not written in the contract. So.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna
your
jump
opinion?
to the caucus room.
Okay.
Okay. So we've caucused a little more. We have a counter offer for the district, and that offer would be instead of your previously proposed 25 and 50, we are at 10 and 20, so $20 per month, 10 per paycheck, and still including the $12.50 bonus that the district had in their previous offer. That is our counter at this time. We agree, obviously, to TA to 3 out of 5 on the wellness benefits. And while we disagree at this time regarding the explicit language for the employee contributions, we're looking to settle, so we're not going to dig in on that item at this time, although that certainly is something we will express we do want to revisit in the future.
All right, if my team could jump back in the breakout room real quick, we'll be right back. All right, thanks for waiting, everybody. Sorry we're keeping you late on a Friday. So we talked about on our team where we're at is this is represents a 70-30 split, which is $20 per paycheck, $40 per month. For 6 months, a 10-month supplement to the employees for 6 months, 10-month supplement per paycheck. And that is our best and final offer.
Okay, so we have noted that we are not prepared to go to that level. So what we would request, if that's your last best offer, we would leave it to you. If you do not want to schedule another session, we'll talk amongst ourselves and decide how to act accordingly. And similarly, your side has that right as well.
Can you
Okay.
repeat all that, please?
It was $20 per paycheck, $40 per month, which represents a 70-30 split. 70% of the increase would be on the district, 30% is on the employees. And for 6 months, a $10 per paycheck supplement to offset the increase.
And we did have a question real quick. If the district could provide us either now or in writing, if it stems from a document or an agreement with United Healthcare, but what is the basis of that October 12th deadline is our question. Is that in some agreement with United Healthcare in the district? We're just curious about that.
Internally, we have to prepare for setting the rates, having everything published, being able to test the system. So I had my team go through and say, when is the last date that we would be able to have rates in the system to be ready for open enrollment on November 1st.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, we certainly appreciate the offers and counters today.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a nice weekend.
We're going to get with our team, so we'll get back to you as soon as we can next week. Bye.